Our first episode post a pay-per-view here at Beat 'em Up Wrestling. So tonight was the TLC, a pay-per-view for WWE, and
The tale of two halves, really. It started off so strong. I was looking so forward to it once it started off.
it was surprisingly strong.
Yeah, and then halfway mark started
Trickling,
Yeah.
but
So I don't know if it was just because the crowd did get tired.
Yeah.
They started off really energetic, and so I don't know if that kind of had something to do with how we feel about it. But anyways, let's run it down.
yeah. So first was the kickoff show, which was Humberto Carrillo and Andrade Cianamas. Say his whole name. And yeah, I was surprised by this match a little bit. They looked a lot better. I don't know if it was when Andrade, there was a spot where he starts to bleed and it was like right by his eye,
Yeah.
but it started picking up more momentum and it seemed like they had a better groove. I think it showcased their talents a little more than we've seen on the past Raws. They were
Yeah. I think Andrade, since he left NXT, they've given him minor pushes and then they put him back down, similar to what happened today. But he really looked like a superstar. I think he came off more of a superstar than Humberto. But they both had really good energy. They worked off each other. They told a story in the ring. And I think this is the end of Selena with Andrade.
I don't know. I really like Zelina. I hope they let her do some like singles matches
Yeah.
or something like that because it would be a shame. They didn't really utilize her as much as they could have too. On top of that, but I mean I love her. She's a gamer. She's a cosplayer. If you haven't followed her, follow her. She does amazing cosplays and she was invited to that Mortal Kombat one
Yeah.
where she dressed up and she was amazing. But yeah,
She's super talented too. So,
yeah, definitely.
but I don't know. I think that her and Andrade worked so well together. So I don't know if this is gonna hurt Andrade or because Andrade has a really thick accent. So,
Very thick. I think it's worse than Humberto, right?
Yeah. He has the.
Humberto he can put the sentences together a little bit better than Andrade, but I don't even think he had that much mic time since he's been on it.
And we know what happens when you can't speak proper English in WWE. It's not very friendly to foreigners, unfortunately, WWE.
Yeah, so hopefully Andrade would be okay. We'll see a little more of him, but yeah, we definitely give it a high rating match. It was actually pretty entertaining.
If you want to see, this is one of the matches I would tell you to go back and see. It's on the kickoff, so it should be on YouTube, I think, now for free.
I think so, yeah. I think you still see it on the network for free. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Not exactly sure how that works.
But check that one out. It
Yeah,
was really
if you really weren't a big Andrade fan because you really haven't seen him do too many things, this was a match that would definitely kind of win you over on that aspect too.
Takes you back to some Cielo, La Sombra, Tranquilo. He did really good. I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah, definitely. And Naito, but
Yeah. Yeah.
So the next match was the ladder match. Okay, so versus New Day and Revival. FTR, man.
I thought this match was great.
It was a good match, but it's so overdone, and you had a lot of amazing ladders and Kofi and flying is his thing. Big E took a lot of bumps. Same thing with Dawson and what's his name?
Dash.
Yeah, they took a lot of nasty hits too. There was a lot of nasty hits throughout the night. There's a couple of things that were kind of questionable.
I mean, it's what happens when you put ladders involved and gravity's involved and.
This TLC was actually a TLC because sometimes the past ones were kind of weak on it. I know we shouldn't want all that type of stuff, but it was. I mean, if you're gonna do a TLC match, at least make it that. So this was definitely one of those matches. I think they fought like I don't know how many times, like 6, 7. I don't know.
Yeah, they.
It's constant.
There's no other tag teams.
There really isn't. Like with the Usos not there, they really don't really spotlight anybody else in SmackDown.
Robert Roode got. Actually, it was supposed to be the New Day versus Robert Roode and Ziggler, but Robert
Roode got suspended.
Yeah. He failed the wellness test.
So, I don't know how long they're going to keep him penalized. It was a couple of days, 3 days, 60 days?
He might be back.
Yeah, sooner probably.
Yeah.
But it was a good match.
Yeah.
Kofi, and like I said, he did his thing. It was doing Kofi.
Big E He took some nasty bumps, but
he's so
he
big
needs a
and he
singles.
flies.
He needs a singles run.
Yeah, Kofi's really. I mean, Big E. I've always liked Big E. I've liked him for the longest. I liked him back when AJ Lee was still around, and yeah, he's an awesome performer. He has an awesome personality, and I think he's a little bit bigger sometimes than the two of them. Like, and talent wise, like I feel like they never push him to his limits. You've never seen all of what Big E can do.
Potentially, Big E should be a main eventer.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do like his goofy personality versus how he first came out. He was kind of trying to be the rough dude. Yeah, like I think there's a clever balance he could possibly do if he did a singles.
But I think he needs a heel turn, and I think he, I mean, the New Day's been around
for a while.
Yeah.
What, 7 years, 5 years, long, right? 7 years maybe.
Around
I think they said something like that.
5 to 7 years, I think.
But yeah, it was once again. It was even though it's a played out match between the two teams. It still delivered in in high moves, entertainment, risk. They both teams looked good when they fought. So
the Big E big ending that he did on Wilder from the ladder.
Yeah, that was.
That was a spot. It just looked amazing. I think that's one.
It looked like it hurt.
You want to go back and see.
Yeah. So the match that I completely forgot about, which was horrible, which is Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy, which ended up being one of my favorite Aleister Black matches since he's been called up.
I think this was the match of the night for me.
Yeah, I mean, once again, there was a blood part where Aleister Black gets hit open. It looks like a broken nose. If it's not, then Jesus, looked pretty bad. But man, Buddy Murphy delivered. Yeah. He was just he responded to everything Aleister Black was doing, and they looked really good together.
If you haven't seen or if you never saw 205 Live with Buddy Murphy was amazing in that what show? I guess it was.
Yeah, whatever it was, show.
Yeah, but he was one of the stars from 205 Live, and he just showed what he had. I think this was a good showcase match for both of them. Hopefully, McMahon was impressed, because whatever McMahon wants is what happens in WWE. But these two guys had such a good storytelling inside the ring. They had the ring psychology that they always talk about. Mm-hmm. This match, from beginning to end, they both put it all on the line. I think they both probably sat back there and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna steal the show," and I think they did. And it wasn't a tables, ladders, and chairs match. It was just a regular match.
Yeah. And it felt good after Andrade and then the tag team match and then this, and it kind of set you up for TLC. So you're just oh man, it's actually going to be a really good pay-per-view. You're getting hyped for it. Because I said, I didn't expect this match to be that good.
I mean, it's December. No one expects good pay-per-views in December. When these 3 matches came on, I was like, okay, damn, WWE is ending the decade with a bang.
Yeah, it was, like I said, Aleister Black looked good, Buddy Murphy looked good. I was completely surprised. It changed my view about Buddy Murphy, because I didn't know he could, it just looked toe-to-toe, which was, I didn't expect that. So, yeah, definitely match. Good highlight of the pay-per-view. And then we get into the Viking Raiders and the OC, and I mean...
a KFC table spot where they had fans. They looked like talent.
They looked very trimmed fans.
Yeah, and they were gouging on the KFC.
They were gouging, and it just looked, I don't know.
It looked cheesy.
It looked cheesy, and they kept on saying $20 fill 'em a bucket. We get it. They put money.
It was a sponsorship, but the way they did the sponsorship could have been, I don't know.
Or you could have just been KFC's highlight of the moment or something of the night. You could have just, I don't know, for them to put a legit table with food. And then, I mean, I'm not going to get political, but with all the people hungry in the world, and then the food's flying everywhere, and I'm just and this is and they always do food spots.
Yeah.
It's seriously? I'm you guys have so much money as an organization. There's people out there that want that food, and it's just I'm so sick and tired of the food spots.
They just ruined the perfect layer of ham this SmackDown.
A huge ham. I mean, I get why Sami and Cesaro got mad, but Shinsuke looked like he was kind of gonna go in for it. I'm just saying. He looked okay.
Which is also, I'm not gonna get into it, but Sami Zayn's vegan and he's Muslim.
Yeah.
Ham was not probably the best choice to pick.
But of course, they had to make Heavy Machinery look like they're trying to be the good guys. And
anyways, because the reason why we went out on the tantrum was because this match was
bad.
and it ended in a double countout, which the audience started.
I think this is where where they fell off. Like the audience was like, I mean, because you have the OC, which is supposed to be like this Bullet Club type thing, and they're supposed to be, you know, a top contenders, but they always play them off like they're not. And then you have the Viking Raiders, which I feel like never really kind of ever came to be what it is. Like they do their chant, and nobody's really in it except for like the little kids because you know they probably have merch for them. I don't know.
Although Viking fans were really doing that thunderclap that they do up in Minnesota with the Vikings games, and so it was the perfect scenario for them.
But even then, the crowd still kind of fell off at the end. I mean, nobody expects a double count out on a TLC match, so like, I don't know. Maybe they could have done something with the different like the rulings of this match. No count out, no disqualification everywhere.
It was just,
I don't know.
It's just one of those things where and the audience let them know that they hated it. But
yeah, so it was a match. Their food fell. There was everything. Yeah. Not entertaining. Next match, Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. I'm so sick and tired of these two fighting. Like, I mean, they fought before Roman left, took his leave of absence. They fought immediately when he came back and wasn't ready, which, you know, could be storyline or could have just been real, you know. And God, it's continuing. And I'm not saying Corbin can't wrestle. I'm not saying Roman can't wrestle. It's just, okay, you guys don't like each other. That's it. There's people in the locker room as characters that don't like each other. We get it. Can you guys move on to something else? Like, there's nobody else for King Corbin. You know, just, I don't know. I just feel like ever since Roman came back, they never gave him any momentum. There hasn't been any storyline. And, like, when he came back, he could have been, like, seriously a John Cena. They could have capitalized on the amazing recovery he had, which was all real. And his story, and it was gritty, and it was moving. He was all over the news, and it just seems like he hasn't had a good match for me.
Well, actually, Roman took the spot of Bray Wyatt. It seems like he's lost every pay-per-view this year.
Yeah. I mean, which is...
Yeah. I mean...
My sighing basically says it.
I think they were having a decent match. Ziggler did come in. But then it just kind of went off the rails because then you have the Revival coming out and his security comes out and
it goes back to your whole like heels never could just like win cleanly because there's always some sort of like interference and stuff like that. And that's I mean you could definitely do that, but when it comes to every single heel they have, always pulling some sort of like stunt gets a little.
And of course they brought out the dog food again.
He hit him in the head with a can or something like that, right? Yeah, I forgot what he did with him, but yeah. Yep. Anyways, it starts to set a tone. I thought the tone was going to come back a little bit in this match, which was ended up being The Miz versus Bray Wyatt. And was he defending his belt?
It was a no title match.
Is it?
Yeah, no title match.
It says I thought they said it was.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, yeah, I liked Bray Wyatt coming out as Bray Wyatt, like babyface Bray Wyatt. Well, not babyface, he's still kind of psycho. But yeah, it was interesting to see him in his Firefly Funhouse outfit and Miz with his very mad Miz face. And the crowd was loving it. He was taking selfies. And they were just saying, like, yowie, wowie, let me in, stuff like that to motivate Bray. But I guess part of his character idea was just basically... no defense. There was like really very little wrestling on his part, so it was kind of after a few minutes it started to get a little boring.
Yeah, this is the match that the entrance was great. Bray Wyatt was great. But when you start no selling, it just kind of gets a little crazy. And then you kind of get out of it.
Yeah,
you know? And then the stuff built around it was great. The Miz, his family, the whole build-up was great. I keep using the word great, but
no, but I mean, even like his daughter, like his daughter sold the whole thing. I don't know if you guys saw the bit, but please go back and see how like his daughter was pretending some creature was in her like area, and it was just like, I mean, yeah, actor family. I mean, his daughter definitely got his chops, The Miz, but yeah, I mean, I expect a little more. I mean, Bray Wyatt ends up defeating The Miz with Sister Abigail, and then of course comes the big pop where the lights dim out, and then Daniel Bryan comes in. Yep. So and we see Daniel Bryan with his haircut, and it's the Daniel Bryan everybody loves and misses.
The 2010 Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's gonna end the decade the way he started. No beard, really shaved head. Yeah, this sets up for a Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble,
which would be nice. Yeah, I think that would be entertaining. It was. He looked happy when Daniel was coming out, but at the same time, he played it off where he didn't expect him to be fully engaged. I guess maybe he thought he was going to be more dark side, if you go with Star Wars reference, but he wasn't. He was Daniel Bryan, and it was kind of cool to see that. It was refreshing to see him with his haircut. I don't know why that brought a little bit more life to his character. It just came like a whole different switch.
He looked 10 years younger.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued. Yeah. But it kind of brought back the night a little bit. We'll get into the placement of matches, but then the next one was Rusev versus Bobby Lashley, which I'm hoping this is just the end of this.
It's not the end of it. Lashley won, so.
Well, I mean, okay, Lashley won. What else can they possibly do? They're divorced now.
But it's not going to end until Rusev somehow beats Lashley and somehow he redeems himself. Because that's how this kind of rivalry always happens.
They did sign those extensions, so they got to do something.
And Vince McMahon told Rusev he would end up on top somehow. This is just fan service for McMahon. I think him and the older audience are the ones that are into this kind of match.
I don't know. It's not appealing, and I'm not gonna go and bash on the commentators, but I thought we were past all these things, these jabs against women and all this. They want to say they're PG, but then this whole time with this whole segment, this skit that has been going this whole bit. It's just been sex and this and that and that. And it's okay, well, you're not PG, clearly, because 101 questions will come up if you were PG with these kids. And so you're going to say you're PG when your writing's bad, but you're not PG and you think your writing's good? It doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't like it.
Yeah, it started off in the kickoff show. They even made jabs at it.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to watch. It almost looks like sometimes when they're live filming, they don't know what to say. As far as their response to things like that. But yeah, that's just my two thoughts. I'm sorry if you do like it. I'm not trying to bash on it or anything like that.
There's an audience for everything.
Yeah, there's an audience for everything. I just want better female writing. So
maybe get some female writers.
Yeah, they're out there, they can write. So, but yeah, it takes us to the last match of the night, which was the Women's Tag Team Championship with the Kabuki Warriors, and
I really wanted to like this match because I like all four wrestlers. I'm a huge Asuka and Kairi Sane fan, but the match it just seemed odd. I don't think it ever really got going. It was they were trying to tell two different storylines or multiple storylines because Charlotte and Becky were playing off like they don't need each other, even though we just saw them on SmackDown saying hey, we're gonna get together so we could beat Kairi and Asuka, but they were being individualist in this match, trying to outshine each other. Then you have
they worked a little bit together. They're kind of yelling at each other more.
Yeah, but it was it just didn't. I don't know. It was just odd. And then you have the Becky hasn't been able to beat Asuka storyline being told. And
it takes away, I get it, she's a champion, but once again, it takes away from them being a tag team, and it feels like every time there's a tag team, they're not really given a chance to develop their story. Like Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross never really got a footing. The Iconics.
Bailey,
Bailey
and Sasha.
They never got a footing, and these two girls have a huge fan base. Everybody likes them. Forget about the language barrier. Who cares? Their personalities are contagious. They do great spots. Except today just was an off day. I don't know if Kairi was not feeling good. Asuka looked visibly concerned at a couple of points in the match.
Yeah, there was parts. There was parts where Kairi legitimately looked like she was angry at herself. She had a couple of botches,
and it makes me feel sad. I really hurt these girls, and I like Charlotte. I like Becky. I like Becky more than Chase. I don't like Charlotte getting that much gold anymore. She's already had so much. But Charlotte comes across a lot smoother, so it's easier to watch her. Becky, I'm tired of her stomping around. I'm just tired of her with this stomping like she's a mad child with a pouty face. It's can you wrestle and let your wrestling tell your story? If you're a dumb man, let yourself wrestle, do a good story. You don't have to constantly be like you're angry. Every like step she takes has some sort of. She's so angry, and it's just it's overdone.
Yeah, I don't know what they did with Becky.
It's too much.
She's still over, but
Is she really?
it's just not the same when she first started this whole thing with Ronda Rousey. She needs a legitimate rival.
She's not getting like the Brock Lesnar pop. I don't think anymore, like how she used to when she would come out with the belt. It's just it's Becky.
But I think it was because she needs somebody to tell a storyline with, and they need to stop focusing so much on the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah.
I love Sasha. I love Bayley. Becky and Charlotte, and it's just there's so many more women. Sonya Deville is amazing. Give her a spot.
She's so good. Yeah.
Asuka and Kyrie, they're really great. Don't let them be overshadowed by the star power of the 4 horsewomen. You have the potential to have the best women's division in the world.
Yeah.
But your creative team and your writing gets in the way of them. Yeah. Because Becky, if you take the reins off Becky, she's really good in promos. I mean, she showed it to us. On Twitter, she's amazing. But somehow it's like
it doesn't transition anymore.
It feels like they're holding her back, or they're giving her certain storylines that she's just not feeling the fire. Because when she was with, again, it goes back to Ronda Rousey. I don't know if it's just she needs somebody to ignite that passion inside her.
Yeah, like a really good feud, that fire. Yeah. So she could bounce off that energy.
At points, it seems like she's coasting now.
Yeah, and I mean, like in the division, they had a lot of females and wrestlers. You don't even see them anymore. You don't even see them. There's like no random singles women's match anymore.
Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi. Carmella. Who's gotten better? Mandy and Sonya Deville. You have Alexa Bliss. You have Nikki Cross. You even do have Dana Brooke that basically was trying to be like her husband when she fought. Bayley. So like. You have all these wrestlers.
Wait, she's not married to Bautista.
Oh, she's not married. Sorry, no. But they're acting like they are on Twitter now. It's kind of adorable.
We don't even know if they're dating.
Yeah.
But they are teasing.
Yeah, they are teasing, and but like it was just she did a little pop up. Was it pop up bar one day does?
Yeah, the power bomb.
Yeah, power bomb, and he was like shake the ropes. It was kind of cute how he went back and forth.
They've been kind of going back and forth for a while, so the fans want them to be together. And
excuse me, because everybody else online is just basically saying that they're together in a thing, which is kind of cute. It's whatever. It's better than her and Elias. I like Elias, but that's just so forced again.
Let's not go back to SmackDown because Elias.
Yeah, I know. But when was the last time you saw that guy actually do a real match?
It's just the song they gave him to sing.
Yeah, let's not even talk about that. Once again, not PG, but let's pick and choose where you want to do your PG stuff.
Anyways, back to this match.
So Kabuki Warriors retained. It was a little bit underwhelming as far as the last, as it went on. They all looked kind of tired. They all kind of didn't know what they were doing. There was a lot of...
It just wasn't a good chemistry.
So my thoughts on everything is that, like the Rusev and everything shouldn't have been...
Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. When they didn't even let Asuka celebrate, because as soon as Asuka got the belts, the camera cuts off and we get back to Roman Reigns and Corbin.
And Corbin fighting with a whole group of people, and once again, when they did this when WrestleMania, when they kept cutting to John Cena.
They did that too. Yeah,
right. So like, there's this thing where it's just like, okay, you thought like they couldn't have guessed that they lost the crowd. They just had to be set up. This had to be set up prior to this, that they were going to run out and pretend like they were fighting. And if it wasn't Jesus, like that's the way you save everything, is that you have these guys come out and completely, and it ended so quickly that it felt like it was so ill prepared. But they took away again. Like they literally were on the floor trying to get up, Asuka and Kyrie. And then they just cut because everybody was fighting.
We don't even get to see that.
And then Roman speared a whole bunch of people, which I mean, great, Roman speared people.
We didn't get to see Asuka and Kyrie celebrate, which is kind of, they're the champions. They should celebrate. Yeah, she had a moment. So I just thought it was cool. What I was thinking was that just the flow of the matches could have been a little bit different. Like maybe the Daniel Bryan coming out with the Bray Wyatt and Miz match should have been before this one, because the crowd was so hyped to see Daniel Bryan that it would have carried on a little better. Because even at the beginning of this match, everybody pops because anybody pops when people come out for the entrance. That's the thing. You have your phone out, everybody's excited. But
it was very short-lived, the excitement in it. You know, the announcers have definitely were compensating for that, being more entertained than the crowd sounded. I just feel like they kind of lost him with the Bobby Lashley and the Rusev match. You know, I don't know, maybe they could have just switched it around, or maybe put Roman versus Corbin before that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I don't know what they could have done to save the ending, because, like you said, these are 4 good athletes. These women are great.
So what are your overthoughts about the whole pay-per-view?
Despite all that, I have to give it like at least a B.
A B?
A B, because I really like the Aleister Black. I like the Andrade match. The New Day match was really, really good. And even though it got a little boring, I really did enjoy Bray Wyatt being Bray Wyatt instead of The Fiend. I could watch the match.
Yeah, I want to see more of that.
I want to see more of that, because the red light does really bother me. Yeah, no, I mean, despite the little hiccups they had, I didn't feel like they had a lot of filler matches. You know, it still had a lot of good points. I mean, even the Roman and Corbin match, they're still good athletes. There still was a lot of good spots in that. You know, so it didn't feel like a throwaway. So it's really weird how the last pay-per-view of the year was actually pretty decent. I could say I actually enjoyed it more than the recent ones that have been.
WWE has been kind of giving us some weird pay-per-views. This was, I would give it a C+.
C+? Yeah, I'll give it like a B minus, B, C.
Because you have the talent, and every single wrestler in WWE wants to make WWE great. You could tell, because they put in so much effort into it.
Yeah.
But it's just the creative writing for it gets in its way, and then the commentators, to me, like Michael Cole says some stuff where I'm just like,
it's a little cringeworthy.
Yeah, like him on the SmackDown side, and then you got Jerry on the Raw side. I'm just like, I don't know, like sometimes you guys take me away from the match instead of adding to the match. There are some comments that just completely take me away from the match. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I think that the other thing, the OC and the Viking Raiders, if they would have did some storyline to it, it would have probably been better. I think it's just because it was an open challenge and they came out.
Yeah, there really hasn't been a storyline with the OC itself. No. They tried, and then they squashed them. Then they tried again, and then they squashed them. So I don't know. But
I love the talent.
Yeah.
So it's not against you guys.
Yeah, no, we definitely were. We're not biased with any organization. We're just here to basically say what we like right now. And, you know, this was better out of the most they had. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll hopefully be back on Tuesday to give you a little review about what happened on Raw. And then we'll do AEW Dark. And then maybe Wednesday, we'll come back and talk about NXT and Dynamite, which I'm kind of torn. I really like the card for both of them, but I kind of really I want to watch Finn Balor and Adam Cole.
They're going out with the bang.
And then Jungle Boy is with Jericho, right, on this Wednesday. Yep. So I really love Jungle Boy, and I'm a big Chris Jericho mark. So yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in, and then we'll see you in a couple days with our next episode.